Hopefully this is working. Per extremely usual. Took me a while. uh I just can't. I keep being like, I have time this time. And then instead of just like sitting down and getting ready, I start something else. And then it all goes wrong. It's cool. It's fine. Please, I hope. Okay, my audio is working this time. All right, let's get set up. Hello, good afternoon. We are done with Two Kids Room and Heart Kids Room and the 2024 One Kids Room. And what that means is that sorry, I was looking for some reason my window capture has gone away. That's fine. Weird. What that means is that my headphones are falling out. I don't know what to do next because everything that comes next is old. It's all so old, and I'm not ready yet to go into, like, Heart Kids Room was already emotionally taxing, let's say. Heart Kids Room was already emotionally taxing. And I don't think I'm ready for anything else yet. Sorry if there was a calculator on the screen just now. That's a weird thing that happened. Yeah, so we're doing not that now. We are going to just do, so I hear good things about the Every Dream Matters, and I think people wanted to see me cry, so we're going to do that. I don't know if I will cry. I just know that people claim I will. People often claim I'll cry, though, and they it feels like people are just trying. They're just trying to figure out what it takes, like, really. But the claim is that maybe I'll cry about this. What do you mean stream finished? Come on, YouTube. Fix your shit. There we go. Okay. And then we'll fix the pain in my heart by watching the SKZ Code, which I'm so incredibly excited about. I cannot express how excited for the SKZ Code I am. Now, for my YouTube folks, I need to give a little bit of warning. So last time I streamed on YouTube, I got a copyright strike, and I complained to them, and they were like, okay, we see how the copyright strike is fake. Because technically I'm supposed, oh my god, I made myself food and I forgot. I made myself dumplings, y'all. This is so exciting. I just got surprise dumplings from myself. Sorry, I'm on my gives me ADHD medication. For those who don't know, I'm on a medication that we joke gives me ADHD. Because I don't have ADHD, but when I take this medication, I get all the symptoms of ADHD, and so sometimes I get surprise dumplings from it, which is exciting, I guess. Anyway, what was I saying before surprise dumplings? Oh, yes. So I told them, like, hey, I do educational content, and, like, I am supposed to be able to do, like, transformative like things like that and responses and insight. Like, if I'm giving unique insights, it's not supposed to count towards copyright. And they were like, yeah, okay, you're right. So we'll take away the copyright strike, but we're not going to restore your video. um So, unfortunately, what's going to have to happen is that I'm going to have to basically keep an eye on my YouTube. And the first time, because I sort of tested it last time to see how long it, because it's supposed to start streaming again. Start streaming again if it determines that you're no longer watching copyright material. But if it gets canceled again, it gives you a copyright strike and it takes down the video. It doesn't matter if it's content that you can upload on YouTube just fine. That's just what it does. So the first time the stream stops, I'm gonna unfortunately have to just cancel, like, stop the YouTube stream, so that as much of the video as can be kept is on YouTube. Um, but I don't know when that'll happen. I found it usually takes a while. Like, for some reason, it doesn't, like, stop the video until, like, an hour in or something. But it's gonna happen at some point. I don't know when. Apologies in advance. That's just what it is. Um, um, the video has some issues. Are other people having issues with the video, darlings? I will cry. I will cry. Everyone is certain that I will cry. Rachel, why do you want me to read you my favorite fanfic? What? Why? Why? Um. Hi, hi. Um. Hi, Nori. Love you, darling. You're on time. I'm not. Bonding? That's not the type of bonding experience I need to have with my Twitch followers, actually. That's just not. Or my YouTube followers. That's not the, That's not what I need. That's not what any of us needs, let's be honest. Hey, Tyler. Hey, Cathan. Not in Australia. Video good? Okay. Well, if anyone starts having video issues, per usual, let me know. I will fix some things up. I need to figure out, some people, there's clearly some way to do audio so that it, like, separates out the audio recording so that I don't know. Okay, it seems okay now. Alright, well, cool. I love surprise dumplings. This is so exciting. Wow. That's really cool. I also forgot that I brought a candle up here, so give me a sec to light my candle. Oh, no, now I have Rent stuck in my head. How did that happen? I haven't listened to that song in ages. I don't even like that song. Oh, that was always my least favorite Rent song, too. God. I live a hard life. Apologies to anyone else who now has Rent stuck in their head. And of course, I only mean the millennials in chat. Yes, darling, this is how people feel talking to you. And yes, I know, it really does give me ADHD. It's an issue. God damn it, that match did not do anything. It's an entire problem. Hi, lurker friend. Oh, the video that was uploaded to YouTube has issues. Okay, well, noted. I'm not surprised. JYP videos often do. It is what it is. There we go. Okay. Yeah, you know, Neon, how I always say about Han that I have a really hard time keeping up with him in conversation? Alright. Candle. Okay. Yep. Let me make sure the audio is appropriately functional. There we go. Okay, cool. All right. Oh, hi, ants. Every house in Seattle has an ant problem. This is a fun fact about Seattle and houses. It's basically impossible to live in a place without an ant problem because Seattle is one giant ant hill. Seattle is run by the ants. All right. Don't give me me. Why are you giving me? God damn it. Give me the most recent goddamn video first. What is it? Okay, JYP Entertainment. Oh, I see, it's JYP for Earth, not JYP it's part of the Every Dream Matters. Whatever. Bright and lively music. This is not a useful color scheme. Options. Font. Nope. Font color's fine. Background color. Ooh, that's terrible. Fine. We'll make it boring. Feelings before video game chaos. Yeah, we're gonna give me feelings before I have feelings. Listen, I just know that I'm gonna feel so at home watching a group of, like, men yell at video game screens. It's going to give me, like, a sense of peace that I know I'm going to need after watching this. I just turned down the video. So hopefully that should be okay. I'll play it a little bit. Is this okay? This seems like it should probably be okay. Music ends.
오늘은 기적 같은 날이었다.
Don't play beautiful at me.
정말 특별한 선생님이 우리 병원 학교에 방문했기 때문이다.
See, the thing is, they started with beautiful over a child, and that's not fair. That's manipulation. That's just, like, emotional manipulation. They want to hurt you. Like, why would they do that? Yeah, I know, I have seen, what I know about this video is that beautiful is a thing. And I have such a hard time with beautiful. I love beautiful so much, but unfortunately I understand the pun, and I hate the pun. I cannot cope with the pun in beautiful. And so I have this deep ambivalence about beautiful. Yeah, Neon, you understand. You understand. I get this sense every time I hear "you are beautiful" of just like, but, like, also, I love this song. They really did a number on me with that one. It's not even just corny lyrics, because the thing is that a lot of their like cheesiest songs, the whole thing is corny and cheesy, right? But Beautiful, it's only that pun, and like otherwise it's a very like sweet and sentimental song. Like a lot of their cheesiness doesn't try to take itself seriously, but it feels like Beautiful kind of does. And that is just what it is. I recognize this, but that doesn't mean it doesn't hurt me on a physical level. I feel like there's like probably a bit of a like millennial Gen Z divide on Beautiful. Which is of course me making bullshit up, but I could see that being the case with how different generations. Oh, there's an ad going? Wild. Sorry, I just reopened it's kind of hard to I have like I have too many tabs. I have too many windows I need to keep track of for the number of monitors I have, which is 2. I have 2 monitors, and I need to keep track of Twitch and YouTube, and I like having, well, and OBS now, because OBS has my multi-chat. Although I guess I don't have to pay attention to multi-chat if I'm jumping between Twitch and YouTube. I don't know. Regardless. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, is that, like, millennials have a harder time with, like, corniness, cheesiness, puns. I think it's because we grew up real snarky. And really jaded. And I think Gen Z grew up so jaded that they came around to sincerity and authenticity, right? Millennials are much more of a like postmodern generation, whereas Gen Z starts to get into more of like a meta modernism generation. Um and so like Gen Z is much better at like allowing the cringe in their soul, you know, um, than I am. I too try to embrace to be cringe is to be free, and I do a decent job, but I have a harder time with sincere cringe, I guess. Um, but I also have a hard time because the thing is, I run a D&D table, and anybody who's spent enough time at long-term D&D tables knows that bad puns are the number one way to torment a dungeon master. Like, oh, that's such a good idea, imagining that you're singing it to kids. Solid A+. Okay, we're done with an ad. I can actually start this now.
이런 귀염귀염한 그런 포인트가 많네.
오늘 여기서 학생들을 만날 수 있는 거지? 그러네, 그러네.
온 학교가 있네.
왜 긴장되지?
안녕하세요.
네.
안녕하세요.
반갑습니다. 저는 삼성성형병원 소아청소년과의 허준입니다.
저희는 쓰레기즈고요. 네, 쓰레기즈의 방찬.
리노.
This is not the point of this video. But I do find it just fascinating how much of Korea, of Southern Korea, Samsung manages. I think they're what, like 13% of the GDP or some such? I know that I see people say they're like 30% of the GDP, and that is not the case. I believe they are something around the lines of 13%, which is huge, right? Like that's a huge percentage. And of course, like this is a problem with monopolies. You know, God knows what percentage of you know, the United States GDP, like the set of conglomerates we have each run, like if we look at like Coca-Cola or at this point Amazon probably, or etc. uh but yeah, so I find it interesting every time they're talking about like Samsung Medical Center, and that just really reminds me of it because like this is it just big conglomerates are fascinating to me. um I'm done with my dumplings. This is terrible.
아이입니다.
실제로 보는 건 처음이네요.
화면이 훨씬 낫죠?
나중에 예를 들면 내가 음악학교, 요리학교 이러면 그걸 가리키는
Chan,
나중에 예를 들면 내가 음악학교,
what did Chan just say? Did I just dream whatever he just said? I don't. I'm not gonna get into it.
나중에 예를 들면 내가 음악학교, 요리학교 이러면 그걸 가리키는 거잖아요. 그래서 병원에 입원해 있는 환자들이 맛있을 때 배울 수 있는 권리를 놓치지 않고 배울 수 있는 거는 기회를 제공하는 것이 병원 학교입니다. 그냥 단순하게 가리킨다가 아니라
I love that so much. Like, education is a human right. It's a UN-defined human right. And it is true that a lot of hospitalized youths do really miss out on their education or end up having to really delay their education in ways that tend to be really harmful to their learning. I haven't been in pediatrics before, but I know that when I worked in partial hospitalization and residential care for teenagers, this was just like an ongoing problem of, you know, kids needing to figure out how they graduate, how they do schooling. And it was always such a thing of, it was almost hard to convince kids or parents to stay in the program when they needed to sometimes, because of the schooling question, because it's going to delay graduation, or because, you know, I am worried I'm not going to be able to like remember things and am not going to be able to like get to a higher level of learning. Like in order to be at this program, I'm going to have to take, you know, 8 to 30 weeks off of school, and I don't want to do that because it's going to really push back my life, or that's also what parents would often have concerns with. And so like this type of thing, the opportunity to continue to have appropriate education in a hospital is so wonderful. And especially like, so like some of the kiddos that we'd work with, they'd still be going to school, but they'd be going to like virtual school in a way set up very, very poorly for their situation, right? And they weren't actually learning much of anything. And so they were still going to be going through school and graduating on time, but they weren't learning anything, and there was really no expectation for them to. It was almost this like, if you're so sick that you have to be in the hospital, what's the point of giving you a high quality education? That's what it always sort of felt like to me from a systems perspective, like how the system works for sick kids. Which is not necessarily new, you know. I've been seeing people in these types of situations since I was in high school, and had friends whose were very sick and whose parents were like getting sued by the state because their kids were going to the doctors too often and missing school, and it's like there had to be a better solution, and there just wasn't. But these are the types of things that, like, you need to fund social service programs to have this type of thing, right? This doesn't come out of nowhere. Obviously I don't know where the funding for this school comes from. I don't know if that is a government funding that, like, I don't know if this type of setup is unique to Samsung Medical Center and it's being funded through the lines that SMC is being funded, or if this type of thing is a consistent setup. I'd actually be really interested in that question. If this is a service that is expected for social services to provide, or if this is a unique service to Samsung Medical Center, which would be problematic from a systems perspective also. Like, it's nice to have that program, and what it means is that there becomes more competition for this one hospital for high acuity youths, which, like, has its own issues. Regardless, I'll start ranting about funding social services.
여기서 애들이 배우고 또 커가는 과정이고, 또 그걸 통해서 애들이 정서적으로 되게 편안해져요. 애들이 행복해지면 행복한 거 도파민이 병을 좋게 만듭니다. 정원아.
I need them to use a word other than dopamine. This is a medical doctor. And I assume that he's using the word dopamine because it's something that is colloquially understood, that has, like, a very different colloquial meaning from what it actually is. But that's not how dopamine works. There are other neurotransmitters that more directly impact happiness than dopamine. Ah! I swear, I'm gonna get to the point where I'm as, like, yelling about the word dopamine as I yell about the fucking MBTI at some point.
학교 역사는 20년 됐습니다. 사회 전체가 노력을 해서 이 시스템을 유지해야 되기 때문에 여러
Okay, the entire society.
사회 전체가 노력을 해서
The history of this.
정원학교 역사는 20년 됐습니다.
Of the hospital school. Okay, that's not really telling me much so far. Yeah, Tyler, I'm actually the Two Kids Room reaction I'm editing right now. I talk a little bit about the dopamine thing, but dopamine is a really common colloquial term in Southern Korea. I keep saying this every time people are like, it must be a spoiler, and it's like, maybe it could be at some point. Like, it's certainly possible, because it's possible anything from SKZ is, but, like, it's a if you listen to some of their older stuff, I mean, they've been using dopamine constantly for like at least 3 years. You know, even the one kid's room they called Hyunjin, so that's 2 years ago. The dopamine addict, right? Uh, this is the world championship beatboxer is from Southern Korea, and his song was called Dopamine, or his musical his music his so it's a pretty common term. um I've kind of said before that it's like several years ago in the United States, serotonin was like really common. Um like I want to say like 2014 Tumblr, everybody was talking about serotonin. Um about the same time that the rumor went around that 8 hugs a day will give you enough oxytocin to something. Except I kept calling oxytocin Oxycontin, which is very funny. So at this point, it's probably not a spoiler unless they just keep seeing people say that it must be a spoiler and then decide to make it a spoiler from that.
사회 전체가 노력을 해서 이 시스템을 유지해야 되기 때문에 여러분도 그중에 사회 일원으로서 굉장히 중요한 일을 하러 오신 거라고 생각합니다.
국영수나 막 과학, 산업.
당연하죠. 또 수업한다면 국영수가 빠질 수는 없는데 재미있는 프로그램을 되게 많이 만들어서 운영을 하고 있고 그다음에 뭐
I feel like this must be a fairly unique thing to this hospital center, based both on the fact that it's only 20 years old and the fact that the group of them, I mean, they can always be sort of bullshitting learning about things, but like this doesn't sound like something that is, it sounds like this is being introduced not just to stray kids but to the people watching, right? Like this is the what's the word I'm looking for? This is exposition. It feels like there's exposition being given to the viewer, right? Lino's sweater is going to send you to the hospital. Honey, are you okay? That is a normal sweater. Baby, that's a normal sweater. It's just a very white sweater. What about this sweater is going to send you to the hospital? Y'all, Rachel, do you need me to mail you grass? I think you might need me to mail you grass. Neon, I'll mail you grass too. Does everyone need some grass? I've got a lot of it in Seattle. We have very green spaces. I can even give you a leaf if you'd like. Okay. Listen, send me your addresses. I'll send you some grass, a couple leaves, maybe some flowers. Every time you get overwhelmed by a normal white cardigan, you can touch some plant matter.
미술 치료, 음악 치료.
Fan benefits. This is going to be. I never figured out like what my special subscription stuff is, because ultimately my special subscription stuff is like, listen, I do all this for free and I maybe one day will give you special emojis or some shit. I don't know. But that sounds like a great subscriber benefit. You can send me your address and I'll send you some Seattle greenery for your sanity. Redeem channel points. Telling you to touch grass. You're losers. Oh my god, everyone in this room is a loser. Jesus.
이런 것도 하고 있고요. 그다음에 정말 많은 자원봉사자들이 여기에 관련하고 있습니다.
저런 것도 다 직접 그린.
맞아요.
Oh,
너무 잘 그리는데.
look at that whale. Which child drew this whale? Jesus Christ. This wall is precious. I love this wall. Also, I'm adding this wall to my Apple conspiracy theory. I know Hyunjin is not involved. I don't care. There's an apple. And thus...
그럼 오늘 저희가 이제 학생들과 같이 할 과목은 뭘까요?
국영수를 하실 생각은 없을 거죠?
할 수는 있죠.
이 친구들하고 같은 시간을 보내주면 그게 이 친구들한테는 정말 평생의 어떤 전환이 될 수도 있고. 근데 이게 그냥 줄 수는 사실 없습니다. 이게 이제 자격을 좀 검증을 해야 제가 안심하고 학생들을 좀 맡을 수 있지 않을까.
다 할 수 있죠, 우리.
컨닝 가능한가요?
cheating allowed?
찾는 거.
네, 챗 GPT 써도 됩니다.
No, stop. Don't do this to me. You're a medical doctor. I only accept this if it's a joke. I know they don't use it and it's fine. I just couldn't tell if it was a joke, like how much of a joke using ChatGPT as a cheating method would be. Right? Because like if I said that, it would be like, yeah, you can totally cheat by using the thing that'll lie to you. But I don't know if they were saying it like, yeah, you can totally cheat by using the thing that'll lie to you, you know? Like...
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
네,
Oh.
법무부장을 하고 있는 양선미라고 합니다. 네, 만나서 반갑습니다.
반갑습니다.
네. 이문고시를 본다고 했는데 저희가 시험지를 제가 나눠드리겠습니다. 저희 병원 학교를 이해하는 시간을 가지려고 하는 거니까 마음 편히 풀어주시면 되겠습니다.
So just relax and answer freely. None of these people want to fail this exam.
같이 맞춰보도록 하겠습니다. 병원 학교 수업은 소속 학교 출석으로 50% 인정이 된다.
X.
왜 X라고 생각하세요?
100% 인정이 돼야 된다고 생각합니다.
정답은 X. 맞습니다.
Lino is like, false because that would be bullshit. I love that answer because if it were true, then he's already said, your program sucks.
초등학생인 경우 1시간, 중고등학교 학생인 경우 2시간 수업을 받으면 하루 출석률로 인정이 됩니다. 병원 학교에서는 별도의 시험 성적이 없다.
진짜 시험 성적이 있을 것 같기도 하고 학교면.
여기 학교입니다.
성적이 있어요. 있어야 되죠. 근데
저는 뒷대 있게 가겠습니다.
네, 별도의 시험 성적이 없다.
아,
오가 맞습니다.
That's probably better education.
이거지.
아이들이 지속적으로 학습을 이어나갈 수 있게 학습권을 보장하는 곳이고 정서적으로 지원을 하는 곳이기 때문에 시험 성적을 따로 관리하지는 않고요. 하지만 학생이 원할 경우에는 원격 학교에 가서 시험을 볼 수는 있습니다. 네. 병원 학교에 다니는 친구들은
That's much better pedagogy. Much better pedagogy.
원격 학교에 갈 수 없다.
아니, 갈 수 있지 않을까요?
할 수 있어. 왜 못 가요?
Once again, Lino just being like, well, it would be bullshit if they couldn't. So clearly they can. I love him.
너무 병원 학교 학생들의 마음을 잘 이해하고 계신 것 같아요. 정답은 X입니다. 담당 의료진과 상의를 해서
There's an ad. He's so great. He's so wonderful. Oh, okay. Oh, thank you for linking the Samsung medical website, Neon. I will look at that later. Not gonna look at that right now. I was about to open it and it's like, you've got a minute and a half left of ads. Maybe like don't do that at this exact moment. What's interesting that's happening? Oh, I know. Wait, hold on. Wait, where is it? Wait. Oh my gosh, guys. I've figured out the way to fix my life. Do you want to know how I'm going to fix my life? I've figured it out. I've figured out the answer to fixing my life. Clearly, all I need to fix my life is the right notebook. And so, clearly, the stupid pop-up notebook is going to be what fixes my life. You see, I saw this notebook and I thought, I really don't need yet another notebook. And then I thought, but it has tabs. It has built-in tabs. I don't have any notebooks with built-in tabs. Maybe my problem with fixing my life is that none of my notebooks have built-in tabs. Right? So this could do it. I've already figured out what every tab is. Okay? I worked that out. I spent half an hour working out what every tab is today. So I could use the tabs to fix my life. The ad's over. I'll tell you about how I'm going to fix my life next ad.
그래서 학교에 참석할 수 있습니다. 시험 성적으로 통과했습니다.
감사합니다.
아이님, 네.
감사합니다. 처음 보잖아요, 학생들을. 어떤 마음으로 가는 게 혹시 이런 팁들 혹시 있을까요?
너무 특별하게 대하는 것보다는 일반 학생들처럼 대화해 주시는 게 더 좋을 것 같아요. 왜냐하면 밖에서는 항상 특별한 아이, 아픈 아이로 바라보기 때문에 오늘 같은 경우는 좀 평범한 하루처럼 그렇게 일일 수업이 진행이 됐으면 좋겠습니다.
아이들이 요즘 고민하는 게 뭘지 좀 궁금해가지고요.
처음 진단을 받고 온 아이들 같은 경우는 학교에 가서 친구들하고도 놀고 싶고 운동장에서 가서 축구도 같이 하고 싶은데 친구들과의 교류가 단절이 될까봐 그거를 제일 걱정하기도 하고 우려하기도 해요.
Humans are such community-oriented people, and yeah, this is absolutely like the biggest thing is that kids going in for treatment, especially when they don't know how long the treatment's going to be, they really worry about being separated from their friends, about being separated from their community, about, you know, whether those relationships will maintain. And also a lot of times those relationships change in ways that are really, really painful, right? You know, friends become antagonistic towards, you know, the people in treatment for being gone for so long, or they don't understand the issues they're going through, or, you know, ableism starts to come in, and things like that. And it's really difficult, both when they start treatment and as they go through treatment, what it is to be separated from their community so much. So that's super true. I think that is the biggest thing, right? And Lino had sort of asked, what do they worry about these days? And was sort of given the answer of like, same things they always worry about. Ultimately, while generations differ and the way that kids look at the, you know, maybe feel about the world sort of differ between generations, there are a lot of things that are like very, very similar. And a lot of working with kids is like remembering that you were a kid and treating them like how you wish you had been treated as a child. because it's not usually that different, right?
되게 일상에서 당연시 되는 게 약간 좀 제한이 되면은
Hey.
네,
속상할 것 같아요.
하고 우려하기도 해요.
되게 일상에서 당연시 되는 게 약간 좀 제한이 되면은
네,
속상할 것 같긴 하네요.
네.
그러면은 아이들 사진 혹시 찍어도 괜찮을까요?
아이들을 너무 좋아할 것 같습니다.
아, 네, 알겠습니다.
같이 찍어야 돼.
같이 찍어야 돼요.
저도 찍고 싶은데.
같이 찍겠습니다.
그래서 오늘 정말 화이팅 해주시기 바라겠습니다.
네.
네, 감사합니다.
I'm getting very emotional about that specifically because of course the kiddos I worked with, both you know, staff couldn't take pictures of them, right? Like it's a huge HIPAA violation in the United States for staff to be in any way involved in like anything that could reveal the identities of somebody in some kind of treatment. Now where I was working, the kids weren't allowed to take pictures with each other. They technically weren't even allowed to contact each other. They technically were not allowed to stay in contact with each other after program. Most of them didn't follow that rule. But like a lot of what you keep from the kids that you work with are like if they gave you a keepsake, is the most common, right? So maybe they gave you a letter. I have a couple of items that were crocheted by one of my kids. I have some friendship bracelets from some of my kids. But like you can't hold on to permanence like that. I don't even remember most of their last names at this point, right? Because you can't hold on to that kind of stuff. It's a really big violation. And so and honestly, a lot of the kids were pretty devastated by that too. Like a lot of the kids really, they wanted to be able to take pictures with staff. They wanted to be able to, you know, hold on to something more. I got to a point where I'd write a letter to every kid I knew who left the program, just so that they'd have something from staff, you know, to hold on to. But it's really, as a therapist, you don't get to really hold on to things from clients or hold on to, right? Like you don't get anything like a photo, right? And there's a lot of grief that's involved in that. I think especially with kids, you know, with adults, it's still hard. Like I have a number of clients who I really wish I knew how they were doing, who I miss working with, right? Things like that. But kids in particular, like, yeah, I'm glad that they get to hold on to something, even though this is just one day. Like, it's nice that both the kids and the kids get to hold on to something.
감사합니다. 안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
오늘은 여러분과 함께 수업을 준비할 일일 미술 선생님 이유경입니다.
저는 음악치료 수업을 담당하고 있는 음악치료사 김민지입니다. 오늘 1교시 영어 수업에서는 이제 아이들이 가사를 활용해서 자신의 마음을 자유롭게 표현해보는 시간을 가져볼 건데요. 그래서 오늘 1일 선생님으로 스트레이키즈 분들께서 오셔가지고 저희가 스트레이키즈 분들의 곡을 활용해보면 좋을 것 같다고 생각을 했어요. 그래서 저희가 준비한 게 있습니다. 짜잔!
와우!
가사가 너무 좋더라고요.
Yeah. This would be wildly illegal in the United States. Probably. I suppose you could probably get HIPAA consent forms that the parents could fill out to waive. Right, it'd be really iffy. Like, I think you technically could have parents waive privacy right to consent at that age. But this would be a really big ethical concern to be filming to have outsiders brought into a therapy class that you film for a company to use, because then you also can't retract your right to consent, which is something you're supposed to always be able to do. So like I don't think this would be really, if this would be legal in the United States, it would be walking a really fine line.
뷰티풀이라는 노래는 진짜 말 그대로 뮤랑 뷰티풀을 섞어서 뷰티풀, 넌 그냥 그 모습 그대로가 예쁘다, 아름답다 라는 곡이고요. 힘이 되는 곡을 만들고 싶었던 것 같아요. 특히나 이 마지막 부분 같은 경우에도 너는 기적이야, you're a miracle. 너는 그냥 아름다운.
Sorry, a couple comments. Yeah, working with kids is really hard in that way. I'm glad you understand. How does the Make-A-Wish stuff in hospitals work then? I mean, I would guess that part of that, one, because Make-A-Wish, so you would still need consent forms. It's usually only one client, though, right? I think. I don't know much about Make-A-Wish stuff, but one client is a lot easier to do something like this with, right? Because it's one consent form, and if the foundation that's doing it is the foundation that's putting up the video, then if the client chooses to retract their right to consent, then that foundation can take down the video. But when you start having all of these, like, well, this company is the one posting it, but the right to consent forms are being done through this, and there's like this merger thing happening, and you've got several students here who are all quite young minors. It gets the messier, the more people involved, the messier it gets. That is how Make-A-Wish does it. Yeah, just one person at a time. You could bring family members along, but there's a limit. Yeah. Because the family members aren't really an issue, like from a HIPAA perspective, except that, like, putting a family member, like saying this is somebody's family member, can track them, but like showing your client's family member on screen has a slightly, but if the client signs or their guardian signs a consent form, then yeah, it just makes it a lot easier. So one client is just so much easier to manage. The other thing that is relevant and important is that state by state have different laws for how old a client has to be before they are in charge of their own health information. So in Washington State, for instance, a release of information would have to be signed by the client themselves if they're over the age of 13. So let's say it's Make-A-Wish Foundation for like a 15-year-old. They're actually in charge of their own release of information there for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. It's not a guardian consent form per se, unless they are considered particularly vulnerable for whatever reason. So that also changes some of the ethics and legalities. That's an irrelevant thing for this particular, like, what's happening on screen here. Because none of these kids would be old enough in any state to manage their own health information, but yeah.
존재다라는 것을 표현해 봤습니다.
우리 친구들에게 정말 너는 기적 같은 존재야. 이 가사가 정말 잘 어울리는 것 같아서 이 곡을 한번 제가 선택해봤고요. 이 곡을 활용해서 한번 오늘 영어 수업을 잘 진행해보면 좋을 것 같습니다.
좋아요. 아, 긴장된다. 반응이 너무 궁금해요. 어떨지.
제 생각에는 선생님들의 에너지를 학생들에게 많이 전달해 주셔도 좋을 것 같아요.
알겠습니다.
저희 2교시 미술 수업에서는 1교시 영어 수업에서 학생들이 가장 마음에 와닿는 문장을 하나씩 골라봤잖아요. 2교시 미술 수업에서는 그 문장을 활용해서 베이킹 드로잉을 해보려고 합니다.
베이킹 드로잉이요?
앞에 보이는 슈링크세지에 학생들이 고른 가사를 쓰고 그리고 그 초안을 이 오븐에 구워서 단단한 키링 작품으로 완성해보는 겁니다. 신기하시죠?
네.
이것을 직접 오븐에 한번 구워볼게요. 이렇게 넣고
Did you
평평하게
three never play
펴지거든요.
with
그럼 이때는
shrink?
이렇게 문을 열고
as children?
살짝 뜨거운데 저는 괜찮습니다. 단단한
gosh,
키링으로
shrinky
완성이
dinks.
됐죠. 여기 아까 구멍을 뚫어놓은 곳에 이렇게 키링 고리를 완성하시면 됩니다.
우와.
짜잔!
오.
완성됐습니다. 선생님, 이거 링코 하는데 쓰면 너무 좋을 것 같은데?
맞아요. 우리 학생들이 링쿠 정말 좋아하거든요. 혹시 링쿠 뭔지 아세요?
링크가 뭐죠?
친구들이 각자 자기가 좋아하는 장난감이나 인형들로 링거를 다 꾸며놨는데 오늘 요 만든 키링으로 링거를 해보면 정말 좋을 것 같습니다.
오래오래 소중하게 간직될 수 있을 것 같아요.
그럼 저희 이제 세 번째 편지 쓰기 수업에 대해서 한번 알아볼까요?
You've never
네.
seen
우리
shrinks?
학생들에게도
Shrinky-
정말 소중한 분들이
shrinky
주변에
paper
많이 계세요.
stuff?
그래서 늘 항상 곁을 지켜주시는 부모님, 그리고
I mean, I want to say fun, but honestly, it's just
또 힘들고 슬프고
I guess
이런
it's vaguely
감정들을
entertaining.
나누고 서로 공감하고 위로해주는 친구들까지. 그래서 오늘 주변에 소중한 분들을 떠올리면서 감사한 마음을 편지
It's
쓰기에
fun as a
담아보면
kid.
좋을 것 같아요.
잘 표현할 수 있도록 옆에서 잘 해보도록
네,
하겠습니다.
얘기 많이 해주시고요.
네, 제가 잘 해보겠습니다.
네, 지금 보시면 그림 편지지예요. 그래서
I love how quiet the boys are. They're like, oh, we have to be quiet. Do you think they picked the boys who are capable of being quiet when the situation requires it? They were like, you three are both capable of being social and also capable of not screaming at the top of your lungs.
학생들이 글로 처음 시작하는 게 편한 학생들이 있고 그림으로 먼저 시작하는 게 편한 학생들이 있으니까 그런 부분에서 조금 더 편한 방식으로 시작할 수 있게끔 그렇게 지도해 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
사실 이 곡의 멜로디나 가사를 그냥 직접 설명해 주시는 것도 좋은데 너무 기적이고 너 지금 살아있는 것만으로도 진짜 소중하다 어떤 그런 메시지를 좀 더 잘 전달해 주시면 좋을 것 같아요.
네. 쌤은 병원이랑 특별한 인연이 있는 건가요?
만나게 될 친구들이랑 같은 경험을 한 서바이버고요. 이제 서바이버라고 하는 건 이제 소아암을 경험한 그래서 살아남은 사람들을 일컫는 말이에요. 그래서 저 역시 같은 경험을 하고 있기 때문에
네.
친구들에게 어떤 도움을 주고자 멘토멘티 프로그램에 봉사자로 참여하게 됐고 이제 그때 음악치료사로서 음악치료 수업을 진행했는데 덕분에 지금까지 아이들과 음악으로 소통을 하고 있습니다.
리스펙입니다.
아 감사합니다.
진짜 멋있어요.
편지 수업 때는 뭐 해야 될 게 또 뭐가
Is this
있을까요?
part made you cry? Is it
정말 고마워.
the bit with the music therapist that made you cry, honey? Or something else? It's very common. I mean, I know a number of eating disorder therapists who had active eating disorders at some point in their lives. I know a number of kids who would tell us that like they decided they wanted to be a therapist or be a social worker or things like that because of going through treatment Yeah, it's really, really, really common that people who experience deep hardship become some type of service worker related to that hardship.
그런 사람을 떠올릴 수 있게 우리 학생들이 잘 표현해 줄 수 있게 선생님이 도와줄게 이렇게 해주시면 좋을 것 같아요. 네, 세 분 일정표 한번 걸어주세요. 네, 붙이시면은 붙습니다.
그냥 그
그래서
운영, 시흥.
정말 학생들을 만나실 시간이에요.
네.
네, 준비가 잘 되셨을까요?
네.
네.
열심히 해보겠습니다.
열심히 하겠습니다.
그래서 친구들 이름을 많이 불러주시고 또 밝게 웃으면서 이렇게 해주시면 아마 아이들이 즐겁게 참여할 수 있을 것
네,
같습니다.
칭찬 많이 많이 해주세요.
네, 알겠습니다.
알겠습니다.
파이팅!
온다. 그들이 온다.
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 I think these captions are not quite.
네.
열심히 해보겠습니다.
열심히
Okay, I'm
하겠습니다.
seeing
친구들 이름을 많이
some of the
불러주시고 또 밝게
issues
웃으면서 이렇게 해주시면
that
아마
we
아이들이
were
즐겁게
talking
참여할
about.
수
Let me
있을 것
네,
같습니다.
칭찬 많이 많이
the
해주세요.
네, 알겠습니다.
quality to something else.
해보겠습니다.
열심히 하겠습니다.
그래서 친구들 이름을 많이 불러주시고 또 밝게 웃으면서 이렇게 해주시면 아마 아이들이 즐겁게 참여할 수 있을 것
네,
같습니다.
칭찬 많이 많이 해주세요.
네, 알겠습니다.
알겠습니다. 온다. 그들이 온다.
온다.
Okay.
온다.
안녕하세요. 안녕하세요.
어서 와, 어서 와.
잘생겼어요.
감사합니다.
가운데 사람이 제일 멋져요.
자, 저는 방찬이라고 하고요.
네, 저는 리노라고 합니다.
저는 IN이라고 합니다.
I love kids.
하는데 혹시 준비가 됐나요?
I love kids of pretty much all
뭐가
ages.
제일 기대가 되나요?
키링 만드는
키링
so
만드는 거. 자, 그럼 우리 첫 교실부터 시작해 볼까요?
네.
우선 첫 번째 교실 우리 영어 수업에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 박수! 우! 좋아요. 혹시 beautiful이라는 단어의 뜻을 아는 사람?
Being a performer is really helpful for being a teacher. I feel like a lot of the skills that go into being a teacher, being a professional performer is like really helpful with them. Like, yeah, pedagogy and all that is good, but performing is even better.
있나요? 아름답다? 오, 가까웠어요. 사실 beautiful은 you, 당신, 너, 그대라는 단어와 beautiful, 아름답다라는 단어를 이렇게 합쳐서 그대는 아름답다. 여러분들이 너무 아름답다. 은규도 너무 아름답다. 이런 느낌으로 한번 써봤습니다. 태어나는 것조차 되게 기적이고 뭔가 너무 특별하고
There's an ad going. Okay, what's going on in chat? A lot's going on in chat. What are you all talking about? Oh, thanks. Okay, apparently letters at the end will make people cry. Okay. In school for counseling because of your own experiences. Yep. Yeah, some people are like, I had terrible experiences, so I want to fix it. And some people with mental health industry, and I want to be better. And some people are like, I had a therapist who really changed my life or something like that. Or, you know, sometimes a group of therapists or something. And it was inspirational to them. And then a lot of times people become counselors or therapists because they had really subpar mental health support, right? Oh, I'm sorry for your loss too. That's awful. It must have been hard for you to watch. I'm surprised you're watching it again with us. I majored in psych. Yeah, I just want to figure out how people's brains work. I get that feeling. on a deep level. Luckily, I did already know about the autism. Oh, yeah, family also. Having family who's gone through a lot is also a really common one. Um, uh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, apparently I have gathered all the mental health people. We have a number of therapists or like therapists to be in our Discord server, by the way. um there was actually another therapist who came up to me at um Promenade in the Park at Gov Ball to talk to me a little bit, who was really sweet. Um yeah, I mean, I think that it's just the nature of there aren't a lot of people who talk from this direction in the content creation space, right? Like I don't uh there's not a lot of like psychology, social work, mental health, systems analysis folks in this space. Usually the like professionals who are utilizing media to give professional insights or education. Usually it's dancers, vocalists, performers, things like that. Um, rappers, etc. Um, so I think that it's just the nature of like, since there's really no one else in the space doing it, if someone who is interested in mental health is going to gravitate to anyone, it's going to be me, because there's not a lot of options. It's a very specific niche.
신감을 좀 갖게 하는 그런 곡을 한번 만들어 봤는데.
노래 이거 하기 전에 계속 들었어.
아 진짜로요? 감성.
Oh yeah, not from a like learning things. Oh my gosh, there's a hype thing happening on my Twitch. Thank you for whatever that means. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, I think that, I mean, like, there are things that I also love just like learning from other professionals, or not even learning, but just like hearing perspectives. I think that sometimes we just want to be validated also. Like, I think sometimes, especially people in our space, you know, we work so much with like, I mean, we work with disabled people, right? Like, that's what we do. And this is something that I've sort of been thinking about, because people get very pressed. People get very upset about what I do with Stray Kids, right? Like, people get they have a lot of opinions if you start saying that the kids do or don't have traits of XYZ, if you start talking from like a clinical perspective instead of a vibes-based perspective. Some of y'all know that I was trying to have a conversation with somebody, but it ended up sort of being this weird internet debate of somebody being like, well, I get the vibe of this. And I was like, totally understand why that's a vibe. From a clinical perspective, I don't have the like evidence to back that up. And they were like, well, I think you're wrong, essentially. Why do you think that they definitely aren't like this? And I was like, that's not what I said. What I said is that I don't have the evidence to back it up. So, like, either people have very strong opinions of what's going on mentally with the kids, or it was about Lino being autistic. Yes, that is what it was about. Which, again, I totally understand the vibe. I get the vibe. I can't work off vibes, you know? I'm not arguing the vibe. Listen, I get the vibe. But on the other side, people have very strong opinions about, like, not speculating. But I think that a lot of us who work in psych or work in therapy, or, you know, work in these spaces that have to do with the brain, some of these things barely feel like speculating. Some of these things feel like, and some of the time what it feels like is it feels like what it would be like if a doctor of pretty much any kind were watching a celebrity, like, constantly limping around on stage and going like, hey, there seems to be something clearly wrong with this idol's, like, ankle or knee or foot or something. And everybody else going, well, you shouldn't speculate about that. That's wrong. You can't diagnose people based on, like, nothing. You can't just say that. And it's like, well, it's not like, listen, they're limping. Like, I don't, why am I not allowed to say that, like, this person is very clear, there's something happening here? And then other people go like, well, that's rude, it's private, it's their business, you don't know. And I think that a lot of us in psych, we're watching people limp, right? And so it can feel very validating to experience somebody else who's a professional, even if we're a professional and we have a strong understanding of our own professional expertise, be like, yeah, wow, look at that limp. There really seems to be something wrong. I would guess with their ankle, but could be their foot or their knee. It's hard to tell, but, like, wow, that's really an issue. In a way that just it's hard to get from the general population, and that also, again, is very contentious, right? This is why I always am so careful about how I talk about disordered eating, is because, like, that's one of those things where, because of the way the industry is, like, you are constantly watching people and being like, wow, there's a lot of injuries on this stage. It's very clear there's a lot of injuries on this stage. Why are we all so okay with how many injuries are on this stage? And just a lot of contention around, like, oh, well, if they're injured, they know their own limits, everything's fine, they know what they're doing, they have medical teams, they'll make the best decisions for themselves. It's a very, very, very contested area, which, again, like, to me, I'm watching things and going like, this isn't even, like, this isn't even speculation, this is just a problem. But I think just the general public really doesn't want to believe that there's so much suffering that they don't see. And so, yeah, I think it can feel like a bit of a safety ground for a lot of us. I mean, I know that, like, when other therapists, social workers, psych majors, like, join channels and, like, talk to me and are like, yeah, totally on board, I'm like, oh, thank fuck. Like, I can't tell you how much of a relief it is every single time to be like, oh, thank goodness. Okay, we can get back to this. I'm done with my tangent.
노래 한번 틀어드릴게요, 그러면. 그런 노래입니다.
진짜 대박이야.
아, 그래요? 감사합니다. Whenever there's a chance, 언제든지 기회가 생긴다면 I will tell you, 난 말해주고 싶다. That you're amazing as you are. 그대는 정말 멋있고 정말 아름답다는 것을 그대에게 알려주고 싶다라는 가사예요. I see the universe in your eyes. 그대의 눈빛에서 우주가 보인다. 여러분들의 눈빛도 지금 보면은 정말 너무 반짝이고 너무 아름다운 것 같아요. 아, 여기는 조금 어둡긴 한데 아름답네요. 아, 너무 아름다워요. 따라해볼게요. You are.
I need Chris to stop being so sappy. We underestimate the down badism of that man for every human. Like, I know that Hyunjin is Yearner 3000. But, like, Pangchan's level of sentimentality is illegal, actually. It's not, he's written a lot of very sentimental songs, and I think normally that's how he releases it, right? But then sometimes we gotta suffer through watching him be like that. And I don't like it. I'm firing him.
미라클. 유티풀. 좋아요. 아주 좋습니다. 그대는
I love Ian and Lino being like, God, I can't believe that's a word that we say. Look at them. Lino is like, we are so cringe and we are admitting it out loud to these children.
아, 좋아요. 아주 좋습니다. 그대는 기적이야. 그 기적이 말고 기적이다. 기적이라는 게.
See, the thing is that Chan's level of sappy puns is incredibly cringy, but works great with kids. The fact that he's a performer and he can say a stupid pun that all of the kids even are like, that was so bad. But, like, it's fun for kids to watch adults who are good performers be cringe on purpose. You have to be a good performer for it. It's a very fine line. Otherwise, the kids will make fun of you. But
그렇지.
맞아요. 정확했어요. What? 어떤가요? 괜찮아요?
네, 완전
Chris,
멋있는데.
he legitimately wants these
Yes.
kids to like his songs so
이제
much.
1교시
Oh my god.
영어 수업은 끝입니다.
안녕하십니까. 네, 오늘
I love
미술
her.
선생님을 맡게 된 리노라고 합니다.
민우 선생님은 얼굴도 귀엽고 보이고 멋져요.
cute.
머리도.
이렇게 이 아름다운 문장을 가지고 여러분들 소중한 키링을 한번 만들어 보려고 합니다.
오,
그죠?
말해요. 저는 알아요.
알아요?
네.
설명 한번 해볼래요?
여기다가
네.
뭔가 색칠을 해 원하는
Oh, that's good
색칠을
pedagogy.
해가지고 그다음 여기가 뭐 부으면 뭔가 이렇게 키링처럼 완성되는 거죠.
맞아요.
오.
박수!
쌤들이 옆에서 한번
도와줄
도와드릴게요.
거예요. 예.
네.
니노님 좋아하니까 여기에다가 니노라고 써야죠.
좋아요.
평소에 그림 많이 그려요?
Oh, he talks so softly.
아, 정말.
He's so soft and small for that. He's so soft and small.
많이 들었어요.
아, 진짜.
Oh, no wonder she was so excited.
너무나도 어려웠을 텐데. 다들 너무 잘하.
그니까.
글씨가 되게 이쁘다.
한번 여기다 하나 더 해볼까요?
우리 은영이도 기적이에요.
당장님도 기대.
아우. 감사합니다.
I will fight for this child.
하율이 거 완성했어요. 너무 이쁘지 않아요? 그죠? 너무 잘 만들었어요. 이건 은영이 거.
완성.
머리 삐입니다요.
어?
I love children. No, I love children. They're so good.
우리 은영이처럼
네.
귀걸이를 해도
나왔어.
짜잔.
Very good bonding. Very good bonding. That's great. Great mimicry. Great like joining. It's yeah. Great play. Love it. Love it. I was wondering why I saw pictures of them with these weird keychain earrings. I like only saw the picture of like that with, and I was like, what happens during the, okay.
오. 마지막 거.
자, 어떤 마음을 담았는지 자랑하고 싶은 친구 있을까요?
오.
Oh, those are. And I love that this is the activity that the program chose too, because like I was just saying, having keepsakes, right? So the program has found this sort of way to give everybody this physical memento of that experience. That's really lovely.
가사를 이렇게 예쁘게 적었고 여기에 눈동자에 우주가 담긴 걸 분명히 느껴 해가지고 별이랑 달이랑
I
하트
think
이렇게
this is loading weirdly again. One sec.
이렇게 예쁘게 적었고 여기에 눈동자에 우주가 담긴 걸 분명히 느껴 해가지고 별이랑 달이랑 하트 이렇게 그렸어요.
박수.
너무 잘 만들었어.
저요.
네.
저는 매운 것도 좋아하고 엄마 마음도 좋아하니까 이렇게 만들었어요.
와, 잘 만들었다.
저는 여기 가사에 마지막에 있는 You are beautiful을 담아서
오.
가슴 안에 만들었어요.
That's really cute. That's really pretty.
박수.
이제 3교시 수업은 편지 쓰기 수업이에요. 편지 써본 적 있어요?
네.
아 진짜요? 주로 누구한테 썼어요?
할머니 생신이나 선생님한테
저도 선생님한테요.
선생님한테?
가족들 생일 때
그 생일 때 편지에는 정답이 없어요. 자기 마음을 이 글로 표현하는 게 편지라고 생각해요. 저희 한번 편지 쓰기를 한번 시작해 볼까요?
좋아요.
좋습니다.
찌찌찌.
아니.
Not the cover your ears. Oh, Ian is so sweet with them. Oh, he's so small. He's so small with them.
마음이 너무 따뜻하다.
응?
고생했어.
댓글 친 혹시 있을까요?
좋아요.
인형이
사랑하는 우리 엄마 안녕. 벌써 엄마 생일이 내일이네. 저번 생일은 내가 못 챙겨줬는데 이해하지? 엄마가 나랑 함께하는 게 많이 힘들 텐데 아무 말 없이 견뎌줘서 고마워. 가끔씩 열이 나서 응급실로 올 때 자꾸만 미안해져. 엄마 힘들게 하는 것 같아서 근데 엄마 생일 축하해. 고마워. 사랑해. 미안해.
Sweetheart. Oh. Yeah, kids can really feel a lot of guilt for being sick. Well, it's not their guilt to bear. Usually, parents don't actively guilt their children for having to be hospitalized. I've certainly seen guilt trips for other reasons, but I've very rarely seen it for the actual hospitalization. But it doesn't mean that kids don't feel it. Poor thing. I hope she grows to feel less like, to remember that her parents love her.
잘 썼네.
고민한 선생님께 저를 도와줘서 감사합니다. 치료 잘 받아 건강해지고 응원주 드림.
멋있다.
Solid.
아, 좋아요.
PD 삼촌 저에게 이런 경험을 하게 해주셔서 감사해요.
He wrote the letter to the director. That's so cute.
여러분 안 보이시겠지만 여기 카메라 사진들도 이렇게 있습니다.
Not the pictures of the camera. That director's gonna hold on to that letter forever. BT dubs. There's an ad coming up. I actually have one of my piles of letters here, like right next to me. Yeah, you don't let go of letters. And then I had a couple kids who emailed me their letters and let me print them out so that I'd have a physical copy. So yeah, you take those letters and you put them in a, locked container. And you keep them forever. And whenever you feel like you're not doing a good enough job, or like you're doing something wrong, or like you're not sure if, whenever you're feeling uncertain about yourself, you go back through your letters, right? What are my chat? Oh my gosh. Oh, do I need to be reading this more actively? Oh my gosh. They are grown men and can't handle themselves. Stop speculating. Or, oh my gosh, member is so mistreated. We must. Yeah. It's a lot of black and white thinking in fandom. Yeah, Chan is so sappy and mushy. I don't know how much of an empath Chris is. I think that's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell externally what somebody's empathy is, because empathy is such an emotional experience. It very much is a noun, not a verb. And so somebody can be incredibly caring and incredibly compassionate and be really great with all kinds of people, and empathy just isn't really a factor for it. I have very middling empathy. Well, depending. It really depends on your depth. Like the EQ, I have very high actual empathy, but the EQ of the empathy quotient score is like, you're fine at reading faces, I guess, which is not really what empathy is, but whatever. Poorly worded things. I'm gonna go through these comments before I start playing this again because I've got too many. Yerner 3000, yes, correct. He would protect the world. He's gonna do the best to protect each and every one of us. Good luck, buddy. You'd be protecting us from each other most of the time. This fandom is a nightmare. No, Chan doesn't know how to not be sappy. Chan needs to go into teaching so he can finally realize his full potential. Maybe. I feel honestly, I think that he'd teaching might be good for somebody with like that sort of level of control issues. I think he'd have a much harder time though managing like a full classroom by himself. It would be good character growth for him. He'd have to learn how to let go of some of the control. You know. Oh my gosh, you were also going to make beautiful shrinky dinks? You should, and then you should put it on fans. Everybody should put it on fans. Just spam them with that. That'd be so cute. Yeah, SKZ do tend to be pretty good with kids. Okay. Hello. Hi. A few hellos and some highs and some crying. Okay. By the way, if you still have contact information for like past doctors or therapists or things like that, you will make us cry if you give us updates about your life. Just like, they may not respond to you, but like, we will have feelings about it, regardless.
이론 선생님께 저한테 큰 돈으로 치료해줘서 진심으로 감사합니다. 그래서 저는 다 날 것 같네요. 크크크크.
고마워요.
저도 편지를 썼습니다. 저는 우리 친구들한테 썼어요. 우리 친구들에게 저희 선생님들이 오늘 선생님이 처음이었어요. 그럼에도 불구하고 수업 잘 따라와줘서 고마워요. 오늘 가장 행복한 하루가 된 것 같아요. 우리 또 만나요. 감사합니다.
힘을 주러 왔는데 저희가 오히려 얻어가는 것 같아요.
진짜.
진짜로.
네, 저희도 앞으로 계속 활동들 열심히 할 테니까 여러분들 저희 계속 지켜봐줘요.
앞으로도 계속 봐야 돼요.
어쨌든 오늘 이렇게 수업 잘 따라줘서 너무너무 고마워요. 마음이 따뜻해져가지고 저까지 위로.
Imagine any of these kids going to a concert in like 10 years. Sorry. I often will make myself cry more from like hypothetical stories I've made up in my head than what's actually happening on screen.
알았어요.
특별한 추억 만들어줘서 너무너무 고맙고, 만나는 것 자체도 너무 아까 말한 것처럼 기적인 것 같고, 우리도 여러분들을 보면서 뭔가 더 앞을 보고 더 힘낼 수 있을 것 같아서 진짜 너무너무 고마워요. 우리도 약간 자그마한 선물이 있긴 한데.
짜잔.
Merch!
잘 보셨는데요?
much. I love kids so much. So much. Oh my gosh.
맞아요. 함께 만들었어요. 갖고 싶은 거 있어요?
귀여워.
이거?
아, 취향이 확실하네.
Oh, what a precocious child. I love that.
나는 내 눈동자에 우주가 담긴 걸 분명히 느껴. 뷰티풀이라는 단어를
That's not a word, but I'm so glad you learned it.
되게 예쁘고 아름다웠어요. 힐링 만들기도 하고 막 얘기도 하다 보니까 진짜 재밌었어요. 스케줄 꽉 찬데 비우고 와줘서 고맙고 열심히 치료받고 건강해진 모습으로 콘서트 갈게요.
No, not this child making the plan for what I just said out loud. No, I didn't need to have that happen to me on this one. Okay, of all the times to do the whole I say something and then someone mimics what I just said 30 seconds later, we didn't need to do that this time. Okay, universe? Universe, come on now. Come on now, buddy. Work with me.
밥도 잘 먹고 약도 잘 먹고 잠도 잘 자서 건강하게 가정 예쁘고 학교 선생님들 파이팅!
이렇게 다양한 선한 영향력을 보여주는 그런 아티스트, 아이돌이 되고 싶고요.
Look at the little smile. Wait, where is his little smile? Get back here. Look at that thoughtful little smile. Yana, no.
학교 선생님들 파이팅!
이렇게 다양한 선한 영향력을 보여주는 그런 아티스트, 아이돌이 되고 싶고요.
Can I talk my shit about how underrated IN is? Because IN is so underrated. I have a rage inside of me, and the rage inside of me is about the fact that my least watched videos, my least watched 2 Kids Room videos, are all INs. IN has my least watched 2 Kids Rooms videos. And why? Because the thing is that the IN episodes have some of the most interesting insights, have some of the most, like, valuable shit. IN has an incredible mind. Like, he both is so, like, he is so dedicated to the people around him in such consistent ways that is so, he's so generous with his sentimentality and with his love and with himself, and like trying to really build himself to be somebody who pays attention to and cares about others. And I think that this statement that he's making about, like, I want to be an idol who lots of people can take strength from me and take hope from me and be motivated by me is so reflective of who he has shown himself to be as a person over and over and over and over again. And I know that people, like, often just think of, like, his snark, and he is very snarky. Don't get me wrong, he's very snarky. He's, like, one of the least hierarchically inclined members of the group. he, like, him and his family are such assholes to each other. And it still created this person who, like, it's almost a way to protect his love, right? Hyunjin's love and yearning is so, like, out there all the time. And he's said that he gets very hurt because of that, right? IN, I think, has the same kind of very universal love and is just more protective of it so that he can utilize it in, because he's more protective of it, he can sort of place it in more intentional and directive ways. A lot of that is me making shit up. I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking my shit about loving IN. Okay? That was not very clinically informed. I'm gonna be honest. That was just me talking shit. I love IN. He's too underrated, and I have a lot of feelings about him, okay? But also, I think that the sentence is really important for a lot of stays of, like, my age, right? Stays, like, 30 years and older, or 25 years and older, or whatever, who keep wanting Stray Kids to do more adult concepts. And I understand why, and I suspect that some of them, if they do end up going solo, might end up doing that. Right? This isn't uncommon that people will start doing more, like, artistic adult personal work within their solo path than they do within their group path. But this type of sentiment is why we are not going to get, like, a significant amount of, like, more adult concepts from them, right? Because, we might get one-off things, right? Like Railway or, Red Lights. We're going to get the occasional thing, but overall, we're probably not going to have a comeback that's, like, all just a very adult concept, right? Because they want to have a large, they want an audience that they want to be able to connect to many kinds of audiences and inspire many kinds of audiences. That's very clearly very important to them, like, personally. And some of them, it might be less important to than others, but, like, clearly IN is saying that, like, it is important to him. And I think that we've seen that there is that importance in other ways, from things other, like, members have said. And I think that that's something that's important for those of us who are adults to internalize, is that if what we really want is, more adult concepts, whether more erotic or darker or whatever more adult means, we should find other groups, right? Like, which isn't to say don't love Stray Kids, but, like, we, I think there's a reason there's a lot of Stay Tinies, right? Stay Teenies, A-teeny, it's A-teeny, right? A-teeny, yeah, yeah. I think that there's a reason why we have a lot of people who really gravitate towards, like, Taemin, right? We've got people who really gravitate towards Hwasa, right? Like, there are people who do these more adult concepts, and that's probably where we should look for that, is in places where that's going to, like, connect more. Everybody's talking about how Innie is great, which is accurate. You're all correct. Maknae on top, absolutely. I think you're right. I think IN would be a fantastic leader in another universe where he wasn't the Maknae. And I think that Chan would be a fantastic Maknae in another universe where he wasn't a leader. Ian may have become if the dice had rolled differently, he may have become a leader in a different group. Okay.
아이들에게도 꿈과 희망을 줄 수 있는.
Oh no, there was another line.
제가 어쨌든 이렇게 너무 많이 감동을 받은 것 같습니다.
Oh, he's struggling. He's on the brink of tears. Oh no. Oh no, he's like trying to find his words. Oh no, Ian, don't do this to me.
어쨌든 이렇게 너무 많이 감동을 받은 것 같습니다.
애들이 쓰는 편지를 읽어서 그런지
He's such a dork. How do people think this man is cool? Somebody, okay. Is there a Pongchan stan in the house who can explain to me how you think this man is cool? Please. I don't. Look at what a dork he is. He's a dork. He's adorkable. I'm bringing back the word adorkable for Christopher Chanbang. Right? Like, that's where we're at with him, is I'm bringing back the word adorkable. He's so deeply uncool, I think that's why they love him, though. Okay, well, I feel like Chan stans are some of the most, like, I really feel like I don't see them standing him because he's a dork, or because he's adorkable. I feel like I see them standing him. Is it just the abs? Is that the deal? Is it just that he's a hot dork? It circles back around and makes him cool again. Do they think it's ironic? Because it's definitely not. He's definitely just a huge fucking dork. Oh, well, the reason that people call him an eshe is because he used to hang out with like, he's talked about this. Like, this is a little bit of like a self-identification thing. That's not just because people are being weird. Yeah, see, someone else agrees that Chan stans are. I've gotten 2 people who agree that they seem to be the most feral. But like, am I too asexual to understand ferality for somebody who is this dorky? Is that the problem? Is this on my inability to be sexually attracted to people? Is there just something I'm missing in my wiring here? All of y'all keep saying you're too gay to understand the Chris ferality, but you have to understand, Twitch chat, please understand that the word gay gets auto-modded. Nothing else you say does, but the word gay gets auto-modded. You don't have to apologize. I'm just letting you know that, like, first I get a message being like, oh my gosh, someone is saying something questionable.
느낌이 좀 묘하고 되게 확 와닿았던 것 같아요. 진짜 뭔가 울 뻔한 순간들도 많았고 잊지 못할 순간일 것 같습니다.
Can you imagine if it were Felix here? He would have how many times do you think Felix cries a day when he works with kids? When he's working with the kids, how many days do you think he gets home or gets to his living situation, whatever that is, wherever he is, from working with the kids and just like bawls for like an hour?
전 또 오고 싶어요. 네.
그리고 선물 받았어요. 키링도 선물 받고 편지도 받았는데 집에 잘 챙겨가려고 저기 놔뒀는데 정말 오늘 좋은 하루였던 것 같고 아프지 않길 병이 그냥 다 날아가 버렸으면 합니다.
Not the face! Not the pout! We've got another ad. I'm going to tell you my favorite story of working with teenagers during this ad. Oh, God. It was really good. So, I'm doing a group with the kids. I'm doing a group, and we're chatting. And we're chatting about medications. And, you know, teenagers run a gamut of, you know, less snarky to more snarky. There's not really teenagers who, like, have no snark in their souls. This group, we had a number of very, very snarky teens. And we had a number of a little bit more rebellious teens. And I'm running this group. And we're chatting, we're talking about medications, we're talking about swallowing medications. And I sort of mentioned, like, oh yeah, I honestly, like, I don't necessarily, like, I used to take all of my pills without water. Wasn't something I needed. And here's the thing about teenagers. Teenagers are never... They think they know how loud they're being. And one of them just goes, clearly not thinking I was going to hear them. Just goes, oh, so you're saying you dry swallowed? And I just stopped the class. I just, like, sit there and I just, like, stared them. I just stared them down because, of course, the entire room heard her. So I just stopped and stared them down for a little bit. And this poor kid was horrified. One of my favorite things that happened. I got so much more respect from them after that. Over. Okay. I almost cried. This almost got me. It didn't quite. Do I have any advice for how to grow a backbone to be able to deal with teenagers? I would say don't worry about it being a backbone. Teenagers are not that scary. They're not scary. They're just people. I find that teenagers are scary if you don't believe that you know how to talk to teenagers. Like, teenagers are scary if you don't have confidence. And you might have to bullshit that confidence, that's okay. But, like, just talk to them like people and they'll love you. Like, I knew a lot of therapists who would do the, like, hi, how are you doing today? Yeah? Can you tell me a little bit? And it's like, this teenager's 14, right? Like, this teenager's 15, whatever. And this therapist is going like, oh, okay. Well, you know, I see how that could be really hard. And it's like, they don't want that. they want someone who's going to talk to them like I'm talking to you right now, right? They want to feel like they're being included in something. They want to feel like somebody's listening to them. They want to feel like they're being taken seriously, right? And basically all you have to do to work with teenagers is take them seriously and, like, be willing to snark around with them a little bit. Snarky teenagers are not difficult. If you're just, like, straightforward with them, if you don't bullshit them, if you explain rules to them, like, instead of having a rule. And now, to be fair, like, I have a very strong personal rule that I rarely enforce rules I can't explain. If I don't have an explanation for why a boundary or a rule or a thing exists, I'm probably not going to enforce it. And maybe that explanation is like, I can't let you do that. And they go, why not? And I go, because the legal team says that we can't let you do that. I don't know more of it than that, but the legal team says we can't let you do that. And I am beholden to the legal team, so I can't let you do that. And I'd ask you to not, because this is a legal issue. And you know what? 90% of teenagers I work with, if I say that, go, okay, yeah, fair enough. Right? So explain why you're asking them to do things. I don't know. It's just like working with adults who don't want somebody telling them what to do. Right? Like, just pretend you've got it handled. Talk to them like they're people with their own autonomy. And you'll mostly be fine eventually. Okay, 3 Chan alts are reporting in. Ugh, but they're not feral Chan alts. Let's see. Chan stands reported back. He's a massive dork, and that makes me love him more. Okay, that's fine. His brain, talent, dedication, skill, and care. Okay, like, listen, I understand a competency kink. Don't get me wrong. He's stupidly attractive, but that's not why he's my alt. He is fundamentally beautiful, so that's easy to understand. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means, but I'll go with it. Okay, he's hot. Cool, fair enough. The way he talks about the members and the things he loves. Cares for stay. Massive dork who loves music and his members. Yeah, okay, I understand loving him for being a dork. But yeah, I don't think none of those people sound like the stereotypical feral Chan alt. Whatever though. Aussie teens are scary. They literally laugh at me when I walk onto the bus. Yeah, no, all teens can be scary. If they smell weakness on you, they'll be scary. Right? Yeah, work on the confidence. You'll be okay. Hey, Gwen. No, we don't. I don't necessarily need the feral reasons. I was saying he's such a dork, but Chan stans are so feral, like, collectively, compared to the way the other dork members stans are, right? That I don't quite understand the ferality to his dorkness, like, percentage on a whole, you know? uh, yeah, so many of the mock sessions I've had to watch for class had therapists that speak like that. It is honestly pretty condescending. I understand talking that way to like very young people. If you want to have a blank wall style of being a therapist, this is not the tone I would put on for a blank wall style of therapist. I'm not a blank wall style of therapist. But if I had somebody who needed a blank wall style of therapist and like that was my only option, I would probably moderate my tone to be about here. This would be probably a little bit closer to my blank slate style, for at least an adult. I don't do blank slate style for kids. Kids, teenagers, really anyone under the age of like 21 really does not tend to do well with blank slate style, unless you're like being a forensic psychologist. There are certain like subsectors where being boundaried and blank slate will be much more beneficial. This is not a style I would use for a teenager. This is much more of like an adult blank slate. If I'm working with parents of teens, then let's say I'm working with somebody who's not my client and needs something explained to them, this is a little bit more of the tone and position I'll take from it. I'm trying to explain something to them. I don't necessarily want or need them to know me the way my client knows me. So this still has a little bit of distance, without being fully distanced. But yeah, this method is very much like a preschool teacher. I would say this is like the preschool teacher method, right? This is a kindergarten teacher. This is I'm trying to be very friendly to someone who's very, very young. But a lot of people just have a really hard time differentiating a 4-year-old from a 14-year-old, you know? He does show a lot of skin. Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of opinions the way that people feel entitled to things about Chan, and I do think that some of it has to do with the history of Chan's room and the way that he interacts. That's like a whole different thing. Thank you, Tyler. I'm a dungeon master. I spend a lot of time very slightly changing my voice for absolutely no good reason. All of these voices are pissing me off. Yeah, Neon, you are not the type of client I would use any of those with. As a Chanson, I think it's the juxtaposition of being a dork 1 minute and taking his top off the next. Oh. So it's specifically AI narrators are just taking voices that are real voices. Part of the reason I do that with parents is because the style that many stressed Gen X or Boomer era parents want if they have their child in therapy, they are often looking for something different from their child's therapist if they are talking to me directly. If they're talking to me directly, it's because they want something from me and like I'm having to talk to them. And usually what they want from me is something I can't provide them, because usually what they want is for me to fix their kid. That is not the style I use when I do parent coaching. So if I have parents who are my clients and I'm doing parent coaching, it's a very different style than if I have a child who's my client and I'm, for some reason, talking directly to their parent. Because, yeah, if I'm talking directly to a kid's parents, it's very common that there's something else going on there. Yes, it's my customer service voice, correct. Yeah. Sarcastic customer service voice used to get customers out of the library. I sometimes wish I could use that with parents, but unfortunately, it's usually the parents who are paying me. And I have to walk a line of getting them to continue to have me take care of their kids, right? Like, I can't let the parents fire me. Even if the kid is old enough to see me on their own, that doesn't mean that they can pay to see me on their own, right? That doesn't mean that they have the ability to give me copays, right? So parents, it is much rarer that a kid fires their therapist if they've been seeing their therapist for a good period of time. And by a good period of time to a kid, I mean like 2 months, than it is that their parents are going to fire the therapist. So, yeah. There's a reason a lot of therapists stop working with kids and teenagers. Every single therapist I've ever spoken to who used to work with kids and teenagers, but doesn't now or rarely does now, every single one of them has the same things that they say, which is, I loved working with kids. I could not work with the parents. A lot of like people who are not counselors, they assume that it's just because it's like it's too emotionally difficult to work with young people, right? When I would have issues working at the higher levels of care, people would say like, oh yeah, it must be such a hard job. And I could tell that it was because they thought it was about the teenagers that it's such a hard job. And I tell them like, it's not the clients. I don't think I have ever had a teenager who I have disliked working with, or who I have had like direct issues working with them. It's always how difficult it is to work with parents. So like I have a limit on the number of teenagers I'll see. I'll only see at any point in time 2 or 3 kids, depending on their situation. If there's, so yeah. Yeah, I feel like so many people who work with kids, it's the same thing, right? Like, it's like, it's not the kids. Okay, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna stand up for this bullshit we're about to do. I'm ready to do something fun. Oh god. Okay. Okay. We're gonna do code. Let's move some shit around in here. I don't know if this will actually help. It's just to keep my mouth from getting too dry. It's not a cough drop. I'm just out of cough drops. Oh, cool. I've got like a bright light right on my face now. It's... Wow, I look like I'm just dying. I should just keep this light here. It's wild looking. It's so bright. Okay. It's better. Jesus. Okay. Oh my gosh. good. All right, so straight a code. It's time for code. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for this fucking code. Bye, cat. Have a good time. Talk to you next time. Or, well, I guess you're going to work. I hope you have a good time at work. I don't know how likely that is, but good luck, fam. Was this episode 99? I thought it was episode 100. I was like, this is not the episode 100 I expected. Okay. I'm stupidly excited for this. Nope. Wrong. Right. There's gonna be an ad that starts in 4 minutes, and I've been doing this for 2 hours. So, actually, before we do this, I'm going to take a break to grab myself some more tea and throw out this dumpling container and etc. I recommend that you eat, hydrate, stand up, or any other things that would be beneficial for your well-being as a human person. Recommendation. Bye, Gwen. Enjoy your long rest. Okay, I'll be right back. I will be back. I'll be back. I really need to find a better place to put this than right in front of my door. It's really not helpful. Help. from the abyss. Have an apple. Have a totally new mug of tea because I forgot my mug up here. Let's see, what if we're not human? Nori. Okay, Nori. You should probably figure dinner out. I don't know that tea makes me feel at peace. I just need it for my throat. You could make cold tea. It's harder to make cold tea. Neon, you're even more ADHD than I am. And I'm not even ADHD. Okay. Let's do this shit. Now that I'm back. I'm back. My headphones are back. I wanted to set up the YouTube to do a thing, and I don't know how, so I won't. Never mind. Okay. I'm so excited for this. I'm going to give you a lore dump. Some of you know some of this lore dump. Some of you know all of this lore dump. Actually, I don't know how many of you know all of this lore dump. I'm a huge gamer. Listen. Listen. I am the dork at the end of the book, right? I grew up a gamer. My mother was a huge gamer. I grew up a huge gamer. All of my friends were huge gamers. I originally started my schooling career. I was going to be an international lawyer, specializing in the Palestinian-Israeli crisis. That was my original plan. Got through about a year of my AA and decided to go into game design instead. That's a long story. I won't go into that bit of lore. Part of it was, well, it really doesn't seem to make sense to bank my career direction on, like, this horrible international crisis continuing for the next 15 years. Anyway, that aside, went into game design, have my Bachelor of Fine Arts in interactive game design and development. I was going to do a minor in economics, except I went to an art school. It's a very prestigious art school, and it has some of the worst academics you could possibly imagine. I mean, truly bad. I had a friend who tried to transfer his math credit from a previous degree, and it said on it, Calc 3. You have to understand, the academics at the school were so bad, there wasn't a calculus class. And the academic advisor rejected the class because they thought it stood for calculator. Calculator! So my first year there, the Dean of Liberal Arts came into our art history class, because everybody had to take 3 art history classes at a minimum, and told us how excited he was, because they had just begun an intro to economics class. Like, you have to understand, I had already taken, like, I'd already taken, the basic macroeconomics class. I had taken a couple other, like, political economics class. I was taught by a wild dude. There were some wild theories in that class. Like, a statistics class. I had I had a number of econ classes, and I was just like, oh, intro to econ. Oh, very funny. So I did not do a minor in economics. God, the art history classes that you had to take, a whole bunch of the essays were like, write a 500-word essay. Bitch, that's not an essay. Write a 300-word essay. Motherfucker, that is an insult to the word essay. That's not even a paragraph. 300 words is a fucking Henry James sentence. You could write a sentence of 300 to 500 words, okay? It's not even that hard. Anyway. So, I got my degree in game design. From a really good school in it. I worked in the industry for a minute. When I left the industry and went into tech, I stayed pretty connected to the industry. I did some coaching in it. I've done, you know, it really wasn't until I got into Stray Kids that I stopped paying attention to it. I'm always really surprised how not dorky K-pop fans are. Like, I thought I had experienced culture shock when I moved from games into tech, and nobody in tech, like, really understood how games were developed in a way that was different from tech, right? Like, I had to explain to people in tech that, like, people in quality assurance in games are usually not engineers. And they'd be like, what are you talking about? And, like, I thought that was a culture shock. And then I joined K-pop, and just, like, none of... What? Where are all of my fucking nerds? Like, I grew up on anime, video games, self-teaching yourself Japanese with everyone you know. My best friend growing up, like, now, still does fan subs. And actually, if you know the J-pop group Snowman, they're really into Snowman, and some of their fan subs are now official subs. Like, we are, I mean, they're a weeb. They are a proper weeb. Very much. They dropped out of their engineering program to sell doujinshi at conventions. To be a yaoi convention center seller. So, like, that's the level of nerd I'm used to. And I thought K-pop would be filled with them, but fucking no. It's like, maybe, hope. I have also been, I've been running my own D&D table for like 8 years. And many of them had never played D&D, even they're nerdier. There was one point in time where I had 4 different tabletop RPG games going at the same time. In 2020, I got really into Critical Role, like so many other people did. So I fucking love games. I fucking love games. And I've been really out of the loop. And so, like, even though I've known the boys are dorks, and obviously this isn't, like, a thing, I feels isolating sometimes, you know? Oh, yes, the new season of Vox Machina is out. It is. I can't wait for the new season of Mighty 9 too. I love Vox Machina, don't get me wrong, but I really love Mighty 9. I really liked the show. I was very excited about it. I'm not going to start talking about Hades 2. I'm not going to start. Or about Persona. Do you know how many hours I've put into Persona 5? I'm not going to say it out loud, actually. Anyway, so I'm very, very excited to watch these fucking dorks play some games together. I feel like it will make me finally feel at home again. You know, for a moment, at least. Okay, let's do this. I do know a lot about what happens. I have seen some of the edits and some of the crash outs, and I'm very excited.
야호 PC방 PC방.
아, 뭐 우리 집 안방 오는 기분이네. 아, 뭐 이런 데 뭐 자주 와봤으니까.
야 들어와. 일단 로그인하고 바로 음식.
I'm sorry. It looks like walking. What did he say? It looks like walking. Oh, I see. This is Hyunjin being like, I know exactly what's happening. Totally.
야 들어와. 일단 로그인하고 바로 음식 주문하러 갑니다.
오케이, 난 먼저 음식부터 주문한다.
나 음식부터 주문한다.
저희가 오늘 준비한 스키즈 코드 아이템은 오늘은 피캉스입니다.
PC방에 가서 바캉스를 보내면서 재밌는 하루를 보내는 거죠.
오케이.
I love how they're like, hey, we can't get a vacation together, but what we can do is convince the staff that gaming is work. And sometimes gaming is work. But I am going to be honest. I do miss when live play sessions were part of my job. I do miss that. That reality was a good reality. I worked on an MMO, and so when we did releases, everybody's job for that day was to play the game with everybody. So that we could do like patches and hotfixes and things like that. Release days were great. Very stressful, but great.
뭐야, 어떻게 하는 거냐 이거?
Do your thing.
뭐야, 철권도 있는데? 진짜로? 일단 롤 들어가. 아, 뭐 먹어야 돼?
He's gotta warm up his fingers, okay? You gotta warm up your fingers.
시켜도 되는 거지?
Seungmin totally would be the type of person who has a way they need their setup. Like, I cannot game unless my setup is like this. And like has strong opinions about it too, right? I probably deeply frustrated on the inside that he does not have his normal mouse. He'd be the type of person who would bring his mouse if he could. Like, I could see that. I could see that.
나 음식부터 주문한다. 뭐야, 맛있는 거 많다.
I wish the US had PC cafes like this, because instead what we have to do is fucking create bullshit LAN parties that like only rich people can do. Only rich people are bringing all their computers to one house so that you can create a LAN party for it. Ain't no one sane doing that shit. Come on now.
아, 뭐 먹지?
Ian does look very good
반반
in
메뉴도
this.
있어. 와.
Good perm. Good perm.
짬뽕에 사천 짜파게티 반반이 있어. 잘 돼 있다. 짜파게티에 탕수육도 있네. 장난해? 아이스 아메리카노. 아, 너무 맛있겠는데?
라면 무조건 라면이야.
여기랑 추가랑. 오케이.
Oh, to be clear, high school and college LAN parties are different. You go through shit that you would not be willing to do as an adult. Right? Most adults, at least that I know, like, if you say to them, you're going to unplug your entire computer setup, bring it to someone else's house, plug it back in, they will tell you to fuck yourself. You don't want to deal with that shit. That's a once every 3 years commitment.
주문하기. 야, 롤 왜 안 들어가냐?
오버로도 있네. 차돌 깍두기 볶음밥 맛있겠다. 비빔면 맛있겠다.
Nori, your Mighty Nine shirt, I definitely have an episode of my Two Kids Room reaction that I think's out. I should double check if it's actually out or if I'm just in the process of editing it. It's either already out or it'll be out soon. Where I am wearing a Caduceus shirt. And you should see if you could figure out which one it is. Because I love Caduceus.
짜게치 떡볶이다. 뭐 먹지? 차돌 깍두기 볶음밥 먹을래. 슬라이스 치즈 추가, 모짜렐라 치즈 추가. 아, 하나밖에 안 돼. 모짜렐라 추가할까? 슬라이스 치즈 추가.
모짜가 나을 것 같은데.
모짜. 와, 만두다. 만두. 김치 만두. 일단 먹어보고 싶을까?
Only known narrating his entire life.
뭐야, 어떻게 한 거냐 이거?
Hyunjin,
비빔면.
does Hyunjin know how to use technology? Is he so offline that he doesn't know how to use UX interfaces?
삼겹살 계란이 무슨 PC방에서
삼겹살이 있어?
삼겹살이 있어.
Yes, I can turn the volume down on the video just a bit. Actually, I will turn the volume down on OBS just a little bit. Give me one sec. Because I want to be able to hear it. I want to be able to hear the screaming. The screaming. Audio mixer. Where? Come on now. All right.
비빔면.
Hi, Rachel.
비빔면. 건더튀김.
얼박사가 뭐야?
얼음 바카스 사이다. 라고 써있네.
그러네.
I love him.
용보가 증칼 들어와라. 승민아 증칼 들어와. 찬영 증칼 들어와요. 나 지금 코스 요리 시키고 있어. 잠깐만. 세수한다. 뭐야? MT룸? MT 스페이스인가? 용보가 형 구강도 떴어.
나 최대한 호응했는데 안 되겠다 이거.
무자와요.
내가 지켜줄게.
나이스!
나이스, 좋아.
어떤데?
It's supposed to be Chan who's going to protect everyone. Chan, what are you doing, man? Who are you? How do you think this works? Come on, get it together. I'm glad you're meeting stays on your MMOs. I bet that if I went back and played the MMO that I used to work on more, my current laptop does not. Unfortunately, I love that game so much, but I don't have a PC, and it just has not been a priority in our finances. Which is part of the reason why my setup in general is so janky. If ever I do get a PC again, one day, maybe, I will probably go back to playing the MMO that I used to work on, because it's a great MMO. I love it very, very much. And maybe I'll finally play Baldur's Gate 3 also. And I bet that if I made my name something Stray Kids related, I'd find a bunch of stays on there too. I really wouldn't be. It's definitely the type of game that would attract stays, I think. But not the type of stays, I think, who would commonly make their name something related to it. So, I don't know. You're very curious? Listen, you can ping me and I'll let you know. I'm just not looking to dox myself as hard as I'm already doxable.
야, 일라고 너무 센데?
피치를 잡아야 돼.
아, 큰일 났다.
가자. 아, 정 눌렀다. 아. GG.
와, 잘 싸우긴 했는데.
나쁘지 않았어.
벌써 눈이 아픈데? 어우.
특 뮤직비디오.
So focused. I love him so much. It's so real. It's so real.
특 뮤직비디오 찍을 때 그 카라반 안에서 피파하는 거 기억나? 그때 낭만이었어요. 내가 진짜 피파 엄청 했을 때. 옵치, let's go.
I love that you can tell which ones aren't the gamers by which games they play, right? Like, oh, you were super into FIFA? Yeah, you were never gonna be a gamer. Not that there aren't gamers who are really into FIFA, but like, FIFA is definitely... FIFA is casual games for men. Right? You know how a lot of women get derided for playing so many, like, casual games, like casual phone games? FIFA is casual games for men. Like, FIFA is the, like, entry level, like, for, like, dudes who don't game. But, like, yeah, they'll play some FIFA. Sure. Yes! FIFA is Stardew Valley. FIFA and Stardew Valley are the same type of game. FIFA and Stardew Valley. Okay, wait, oh no, hold on. I need to justify this somehow. Hold on, I gotta put my game design degree to use here. How am I validating whatever the fuck I just said? Like, the audience, right? It's you're right. I don't think FIFA is Animal Crossing. I think FIFA is Stardew Valley because like Animal Crossing is a little too entry level game, right? I feel like Stardew Valley has a little bit more of the like there's more staying power in Stardew Valley. Like the flow state for Stardew Valley is longer. Animal Crossing's flow state, I think like early on, can take a while, but it's getting into a flow state in Animal Crossing is very dependent on the same gameplay loop creating the same dopamine rush. There's an ad going, so now I have a minute and a half to go on this rant, which is good because YouTube is like, hey, there might be video belonging to someone else, like, chill. So maybe this will be enough time to let it chill. So like Stardew Valley's gameplay loop is longer than Animal Crossing's gameplay loop in many ways, in that there are more mechanics that drive that flow state than Animal Crossing's. Animal Crossing's is a little bit more like repetitive action dopamine dependent. So it's a little bit easier to turn off and on at any time. And I'd say that like the way that FIFA works, it's a little bit harder to like just kind of come and go wherever. And there's a little bit more like understanding of gameplay loops required to feel really comfortable with it. It's like a slightly higher bar to entry. Whereas I think that Stardew Valley and FIFA are a similar bar to entry in starting to game. Because if you don't really understand gameplay mechanics, you can start playing Stardew Valley. You're gonna have a little bit of a hard time. Like, I've definitely known people who like actually have a hard time like optimizing well for Stardew Valley if they really don't know how to game like at all. If they're totally super casual gamers, and I think FIFA would be sort of similar, like totally new, like barely even casual gamers. There's a little bit higher entry level for FIFA. Whereas Animal Crossing, like, basically anyone can, at any skill level, can get started with Animal Crossing. Yeah, you can't clear the community center if you don't know what you're doing. Exactly. I'm glad you understand me. Yeah. Apparently he does not smile when he plays Overwatch. A lot of people don't. Caption editors, what are you planning on... How do you think gamers work?
Let's go.
I doubt he smiles much when he games. Who's sitting there, like, playing Overwatch with a giant grin on their face? Like, unless it's a maniacal grin, maybe? I don't know.
오케이, 뭐 해야 돼? 아까 뭐였지? 그 8번 출구.
8번 출구 무서운 거야?
무섭진 않아.
그래?
긴장감 있는 느낌? 됐다. 오!
I don't know much about this. Is this, like, built to be also a VR game? This looks like one of those things that would be better in VR, and that would be more likely to be made for VR. But I might be wrong.
영이다. 아, 그러면 아까 틀린 그림이 있었던 거야. 뭐 어쩌라는 거야?
Oh, does it not tell you what you're supposed to do? Oh, that's fun. I love that.
뒤로 가야 돼. 자, CCTV가 있고요. 하나, 둘, 셋, 넷.
Stop holding his hand, Puncton. If you can't learn how to play the game without somebody sitting next to you, bad game design. But it can be good game design to not know how to play the game. Like, roguelites are dependent on you not knowing how to play the game, right? So...
1 나왔다. 1 나왔다. 형, 우리 하나야?
I'm sorry. Are you Oriana? But on screen was still exit 8? Or 6 or whatever number it is. And I thought that he was talking to, and I was like, what do you mean are you Oriana? Where would I was so confused.
오, 형 이거 봐, 누가 쳐다봐.
어디. 오, 들어가.
No, go in there.
돌아가, 리노야.
이다.
Boring.
오, 2 됐네. 오.
Somebody please make Chris play Fatal Frame. I'm begging. I want Chris playing Fatal Frame. I want it. I want it yesterday.
오, 돌아가. 3이다. 3 나왔다. 아, 이걸 8번까지 가야 된다고?
됐다. 아이고 유튜브에서 많이 봤지 이것도.
나 유튜브로 봤어 이거.
나도 이거 빨간색, 파란색, 노란.
Iconic. I don't play games, but I kind of wish I played games, so I'll watch people play games. Do you think that that's how Hyunjin manages when, like, Felix and Changvin are just sitting there in his living room playing League? And he's like, man, I don't know what to do with this. And he just, like, looks over their shoulders and, like, gives them bad advice.
파란색, 하얀색.
너는 근데 뭔가 그 톤이 그 괜찮은데 게임 방송?
네 안녕하세요. 오늘 해볼 게임은 해본 출구.
Famous for his memory in a bad way. Is this a memory-oriented game, or am I missing something about his memory that needs to happen here? Oh, he does have to memorize it. Well,
재미없다.
I was about to say, he does have a pretty good visual recollect, so maybe every now and then you get people who have really bad memories, but like really good, like strong visual memory specifically. But alas, instead, his ADHD got annoyed. I mean, not his ADHD, his ADHD-like personality. His ADHD vibes. Got bored. Yes, another dopamine mention. They're always going to mention dopamine. They're always going to mention dopamine in Hyunjin. My, oh, is YouTube? Yep, YouTube's being spicy. Sorry, folks. Time to end stream. Alas.